romantic stories.
That was the best one ever.
It seems like an impossible relationship in the beginning of the film, and the possibility that the two characters won't get together really fuels the love story.
If you leave, who's going to be my friend anymore?
I'll always be your friend.
It's not a simple pass at the love interest, you know. We got to have a girl in the movie. Who's it going to be, and what are they going to do? It was part of the lifeblood of who Forrest Gump is and what Forrest Gump the story is.
Jenny and Forrest were meant to be. It was magic. But Jenny is so complicated and has a path of her own to follow. It's not an easy relationship.
Have you ever been with a girl, Forrest?
I sit next to him in my home economics class all the time.
I believe in screen chemistry. And I think all the great writing and all the great acting in the world can't make that magical thing that sometimes happens in two dimensions. Tom and Robin are wonderful in the movie.
I'd make a good husband, Jenny.
You would, Forrest.
But you won't marry me. College ran by real fast because I played so much football. They even put me on the thing called the All-America team, where you get to meet the President of the United States.
One of the fun things about the movie is that Forrest seems to brush near all these historic people and historic events.
He meets Elvis Presley.
He bumps into George Wallace and
John Lennon. And Dick Cavett.
Abby Hoffman, and
He might meet Mao Zedong. We don't know.
and he meets 3 presidents.
He's meeting John F. Kennedy because he's one of the All-American football team. So he goes to the White House, and they have all this great food there that's for free. And if there's any substance that Forrest loves, it's Dr. Pepper. So he drinks a lot of them.
And cut. Then we're on time. Just glug, 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 like that. Cut. B-mark. And action. And cut. Let's print that one. Let's do one more. Okay. And cut.
Okay, try it again, everybody.
And cut. We'll print one more.
Okay, straight away.
Okay. How you doing?
Heads up, Dr. Pepper coming through. Hey, I'll have one.
Cut. Good here. Print that one.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
It's great. Forrest is not nervous. He's not put out. The only thing he knows is that he's got to go pee.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
To create a scene with the real JFK, what we had to do is wade through hours and hours of historical footage of JFK to see if, in fact, there was anything that came close to what was in the script. And it just so happened that we found footage of him in the Oval Office meeting with football players. So I need a longer piece on Kennedy for the first guy.
Bob's shows are always hard because a lot of Bob's stuff utilizes some very subtle effects he wants to achieve, and that for me is the hardest stuff.
Here is some of the original archive footage of John F. Kennedy, and what we have to do is when this woman crosses in front of John F. Kennedy, we've got to get rid of her and put in Tom Hanks.
Show Tom how it's going to actually work. That's going to be you, right? You're standing there, and then, nope, you're out of sync, right? And that's how we're going to do it, right?
Roughly how we're going to do it.
Do you believe it?
How am I supposed to do that?
In this case, Tom Hanks was shot against a blue screen backing, which allowed us to isolate him. And you can see these little white dots here. These were the reference markers, so as they come across, they knew where to put their hands, where to put their eye lines, and we'd be looking at that on the monitor and coaching Tom so that he could get the action to match up.
And how do you feel?
And pause.
God? I don't know. It scares me. We're good.
Here we go. Once
It'll
again.
be fun.
Action and pause. And shake, 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 and pause.
Cut. That was a very good one.
Excellent.
It was amazing to see Tom plug in very, very quickly to that because it's hard to do. No matter what we did, his hands wouldn't end up in exactly the right place. And shake, 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 and pause.
Put it in his, can you get his hand in his hand?
So one of the other things we have to do is we have to adjust his hand and make it fit in exactly so that he makes solid contact.
Because we're sort of morphing his chin down over his shoulder, that we're getting
We're doing a lot of augmentation to these shots so that it feels like Tom is really in the actual archival footage. So we're degrading his image and adding the scratches, the pops, the things that really look like the older footage. So I really like how this works.
They're not just standing together, they're touching each other, shaking hands, interacting, and then also having a conversation.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
They sending me to Vietnam.
Son, you promised me something, okay? Just, if you're ever in trouble, don't try to be brave. You just run.
Okay. The thing that we never ever wanted to do in any of this movie was just do that kind of tabloid pastiche version of history. If we were going to invest in the idea of going to Vietnam, we had to do Vietnam right.
I only did Vietnam through Forrest's point of view, so you only saw what he saw.
Hey, I bet they shrimp all in these ones. They tell me these Vietnams is good shrimp.
Bubba is someone that Forrest meets in the Army, and I guess you'd say he's a bit obsessed about shrimping.